You'd think holding a British passport still meant easy access around the world. Not anymore. In 2025, the game has changed. One by one, countries that once welcomed British immigrants are now slamming the door shut. We're seeing cancelled visas, stricter rules, and in some cases, complete bans. And it's not just about politics, it's about payback, pressure, and priorities shifting fast. From once loyal allies like Ireland to rising powers like India and Indonesia, British citizens are being told, not so fast. In this video, we're exposing the 10 countries that have just made it harder, or downright impossible, for Brits to move in 2025. And no, it's not the usual suspects. Some of these will genuinely shock you. Let's begin. Number 10, United Arab Emirates. The UAE, especially cities like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, has been a magnet for British professionals, entrepreneurs and influencers. But in 2025, that era of easy access is fading. Fast on April 2, 2025, the Emirati government enacted the Emiratization Expansion Directive, a sweeping policy aimed at reducing reliance on foreign labour. British citizens, once considered premium hires in finance, education and real estate, are now among the most impacted. Under the new directive, companies must prove they've attempted to hire UAE nationals before recruiting any foreigner. The list of affected industries has grown, and enforcement is stricter than ever. Work permits for Brits have dropped nearly 30% this year alone. Even the once popular freelance visa and remote work visa options have been restructured. Costs have doubled, application windows have narrowed, and renewals are being denied if the applicant can't show consistent income or UAE tax contributions. There's also a cultural shift underway. Emirati officials are emphasizing workforce sovereignty, pushing to prioritize locals and reduce Western influence in leadership roles. Some British-owned startups have even reported delays in licensing and sudden audits. In short, the UAE still wants foreign talent, but only on its terms. For British citizens, the golden days of quick contracts and tax-free lifestyles are no longer guaranteed. Number 9, Indonesia. In May 2025, Indonesia quietly rolled out one of its most sweeping visa overhauls in years, and British nationals were among the hardest hit. Previously seen as a hotspot for remote workers and retirees, especially in places like Bali, Indonesia had welcomed thousands of Brits looking for a lower cost of living and a warmer climate. But as of May 15, new restrictions have gone into effect under the revised Immigration and Labour Protection Act. British citizens applying for long-term stay visas, like the popular second home visa and the digital nomad visa, must now show a significantly higher income level and bank deposits of at least $130,000, 0 cents, held in an Indonesian bank account. That's nearly double what was previously required. What triggered the shift? Indonesian officials pointed to concerns about rising foreign ownership, housing inflation in tourist regions, and what they called visa misuse by Westerners working illegally under tourist or social visas. For British digital nomads, the news hit hard. Many were living month to month using loopholes. Now those options are gone, and overstayers face fines, blacklisting, and even deportation. Indonesia isn't saying Brits aren't welcome, but the message is clear. If you're coming, you'd better bring serious money and follow the rules. Number 8, Canada. Canada has long been a top destination for British emigrants, thanks to shared language, cultural ties, and an immigration system that once favoured UK nationals. But in 2025, that door is narrowing fast. On April 3, 2025, Canada introduced its new Local Labour First policy under the revised Express Entry Framework. The goal? To prioritise applicants with Canadian family ties or provincial connections, leaving many British hopefuls suddenly ranked much lower in the system. Here's what changed. British applicants now face higher point thresholds across the board. You'll need more work experience in Canada, stronger French language skills and job offers from Canadian employers just to stay competitive. And for many, the biggest blow was the removal of automatic preference for citizens of Commonwealth countries, including the UK. That's not all. Canada also reduced the number of permanent residency slots available through the Federal Skilled Worker Programme by 25%, shifting focus to temporary visa holders already living in the country. The message is clear. Canada is no longer rolling out the red carpet for Brits just because of history. It's now about who fits the country's evolving needs, and for many in the UK, that shift means a much tougher path ahead. Number 7. Japan. Japan has quietly become a favourite for Brits seeking high-tech careers, cultural exploration and long-term residency in Asia. But in 2025, the welcome is wearing thin. On February 18, Japan's Ministry of Justice implemented sweeping reforms to its residency rules under the newly passed Foreign Residency Control Act. While not a total ban, these changes have made it significantly harder for British nationals to secure mid- or long-term visas. Here's what's new. To qualify for the Engineer/Specialist in Humanities visa, Japan's most common professional work permit, British applicants must now meet updated academic and employment criteria, including proof of a degree directly tied to the job field and an offer from a Japan-registered company. No more flexibility or vague roles, but the biggest shake-up, the new local language integration clause. Long-term visa applicants must now demonstrate basic proficiency in Japanese, N4 or higher on the JLPT before entry, even for English teaching roles. On top of that, visa renewals now require proof of community integration, residency history, tax contributions, even social involvement in local wards. British citizens who once coasted on cultural affinity and global company transfers are finding the door narrowing fast. Japan is shifting from passive openness to active selectiveness, and the UK no longer enjoys a free pass. Number 6. Australia. For decades, Australia was practically a second home for British citizens. Sunshine, job opportunities, and a shared language made it one of the most popular emigration destinations for people leaving the UK. But in 2025, that bond is being tested like never before. On March 28, 2025, Australia's Department of Home Affairs introduced major reforms to its General Skilled Migration (GS). British applicants, once among the top beneficiaries, are now facing new hurdles. First, the minimum required points for skilled visas jumped from 65 to 85, effectively shutting out most applicants who don't have advanced degrees, highly in-demand skills, or Australian work experience. Tradespeople and healthcare workers are still being welcomed, but white-collar applicants without direct job offers are being deprioritised. Second, the visa processing time for UK nationals has been extended, with a new tiered review system that puts regional applicants and Pacific neighbours ahead in the queue. The move is part of Australia's Fair Entry initiative, which aims to rebalance the migration pool after decades of UK and EU dominance. Even the popular working holiday visa program has changed. Brits over 30 are no longer eligible, and shorter stays are being enforced more strictly. Ostensibly hasn't shut the door completely, but it's clear that in 2025, British migrants are no longer treated as a default fit. You'll need to prove you're valuable, skilled and adaptable, or be left behind. Number 5. Thailand. Once considered a haven for British retirees, remote workers and entrepreneurs, Thailand has taken a sharp turn in 2025, and British citizens are feeling the squeeze. In January, Thailand's government announced a full overhaul of its long-stay visa categories, introducing stricter income verification rules and removing fast-track privileges previously extended to Western nations like the UK. The change took effect on January 21 under the revised Foreign Nationals Entry Act. The biggest blow came to the elite visa program, which allowed wealthy foreigners to live in Thailand for up to 20 years with a one-time payment. While not discontinued entirely, British applicants are now required to meet tighter financial scrutiny, provide real estate ownership documentation, and pass stricter background checks, including international tax filings. Digital nomads were also hit hard. The new Smart Visa program now mandates minimum monthly earnings of $5,000 0 cents with verifiable contracts from registered global companies. And unlike before, applicants must now pay a compliance bond, refunded only upon final departure. Why the clampdown? Thai officials cited rising concerns about economic leakage and cultural friction in cities like Chiang Mai and Phuket, where large expat populations are blamed for driving up living costs and diluting traditional Thai values. In short, if you're a British citizen hoping to work, retire, or simply escape to Thailand in 2025, expect more red tape and fewer loopholes. Number 4. Switzerland. Switzerland has long attracted British citizens chasing high salaries, pristine landscapes, and stable living. But in 2025, the Alpine dream has hit a wall. On March 10, 2025, the Swiss Federal Council introduced new immigration quotas for non-EU countries, including the UK. The move follows rising political pressure inside Switzerland to curb foreign influence in its job market and housing sector. Under the new rules, the number of long-term work and residency permits available to British nationals was slashed by nearly 40%. Priority is now given to EU citizens and select partner countries with stronger trade alignment. UK nationals, once near the top of the list, now face increased wait times and tougher eligibility checks. What does that mean in practice? Even highly skilled professionals in banking, pharmaceuticals and tech must now secure a government-approved labour market exemption, proving that no Swiss or EU candidate could fill the role. Self-employed Brits or small business owners, they've been almost entirely frozen out unless their work benefits the national economy directly. The rules around family reunification have also tightened, requiring more income proof and accommodation standards. Switzerland hasn't closed its doors, but it's made it clear post-Brexit Britain no longer gets the benefit of the doubt. For many Brits, that signature Swiss neutrality just turned cold number 3 to Ireland. For decades, Ireland was the most convenient escape hatch for Brits. Shared history, proximity, and the common travel area meant you didn't even need a visa to live or work there. But in 2025, that automatic pass has been seriously reined in. On January 5, 2025, Ireland introduced the Immigration Regulation and Border Integrity Act. For the first time in decades, British citizens planning to live or work in Ireland beyond 90 days must apply for pre-clearance under standard immigration channels. The move is a response to two things: the need to align more closely with EU border policies and the growing strain on Ireland's housing and public services, both of which the government says were being pushed to the limit by unchecked UK migration post-Brexit. Now, UK nationals must show proof of employment, income or study before moving. Retirees, they need to demonstrate long-term financial self-sufficiency, something that many weren't prepared for, perhaps most jarring. Enforcement has increased. Immigration officers are conducting random status checks, and overstayers are now being fined or denied re-entry. For a generation of Brits who viewed Ireland as a guaranteed Plan B, 2025 sent a very different message. The border may still be soft, but the rules just got hard. Number 2. India. India and the UK share centuries of intertwined history, but in 2025, that history is no longer buying goodwill. This year, India rolled out one of the strictest immigration crackdowns aimed specifically at British nationals. On April 8, India's Ministry of External Affairs activated the Reciprocity Adjustment Framework. It's a direct response to years of tough UK visa rules imposed on Indian citizens, now turned back toward the British. What's changed? First, every major visa category, work, student, investment, now comes with added requirements. British applicants must submit 5-year financial records, show proof of accommodation from verified Indian sources, and pass regional language basics. Depending on where they plan to live, even study visas aren't exempt. Applicants must now prove they have substantial financial backing or government sponsorship. Casual backpackers or digital nomads, they've been largely shut out. But the most telling change? Business visas. British entrepreneurs now face a mandatory 3-month background verification period, with applications flagged for extra scrutiny. The message is clear: no more fast tracks. Indian officials describe this as balancing the scales, but it's also a sign of India's growing confidence on the world stage. In 2025, it's no longer willing to accept unequal treatment, and Brits are the first to feel the shift. Number 1, United States. The United States has long been seen as the ultimate destination for Brits chasing the American dream. But in 2025, that dream has taken a sharp, unexpected turn. On May 2, 2025, the US Department of Homeland Security reclassified the United Kingdom as a Tier 2 risk management country. While the label sounds technical, its impact is massive and deeply personal for thousands of British citizens. What does it mean? All major visa categories, student, work, investor, now come with intense additional scrutiny. British applicants must undergo extended background checks, provide 10 years of employment history and show deep, documented ties to the UK to prove they don't plan to overstay. Even the popular E2 investor visa, once a reliable pathway for British entrepreneurs, was suspended indefinitely for UK nationals. Business plans stalled, startups frozen, entire families forced to cancel relocation plans, and it doesn't stop there. US embassies worldwide have reported delays and surging rejection rates for British visa interviews. The average approval wait time for a UK citizen in 2025, up to 90 days, triple what it was a year ago. American officials cite data privacy issues and imbalanced visa reciprocity. But behind closed doors, many believe it's about shifting alliances. The US is refocusing on Asia-Pacific and regional partners, and old European ties are starting to slide. For Brits, it's a hard truth. The US is no longer rolling out the red carpet. In 2025, the American dream isn't dead, but for many in the UK, it's definitely on hold. This is what 2025 looks like for British immigrants. Walls going up where doors used to be. Not just one country, not just one policy, but a clear global shift unfolding in real time. And for thousands of Brits, it's already too late to adjust. These changes aren't just red tape, they're life-changing. They mean selling homes, cancelling degrees, walking away from careers. The age of automatic entry is over. And what's replacing it? A world that's demanding more and offering less. So if you're still holding on to the old rules, it might be time to let them go. Thanks for watching. Stay alert, stay informed. And if this hit close to home, you're not alone. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.